Hey, it's CJ Miller. I'm still walking home. It's at midnight now, but yeah, I did that video, that longer video. And then it was like, I forgot to mention, there's a little bit of a PS there, that I was hearing all these little noises, and it was like, oh my God, is it squeaky? What's squeaking? And then my mind went to like, oh, I don't know. Uh, are there and it's coming through under the bridge where there's a lot of like shrubbery and stuff like that. So I was thinking, you know, wildlife like rats or something, which led me to think of Willard and his friend. And the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for. With a friend you call my own, I'll never be alone. And then, my friend, you see, you got a friend in me. I wonder that high pitch. She was singing that Edith Bunker or something. I like characters. I like classic TV characters too, because I'm like, but oh, you knew where you are then. When you have Archie, Goyles were Goyles and men were men. I've already talked about this in a previous video. My weirdness. Yes. Okay. One of the things I was talking about the books that I used to get from the Circle K, and they kind of made me creative and they gave me an outlet. I think, there's some people that I know in life that I've met, and they process the traumas that we all go through, uh, and some more than others, but, they process it in some kind of ways. And if there's an outlet, a creative outlet, that's great. And for a lot of people, that's music, that's the arts, the writing, everything. Sometimes people don't have that outlet really, or they don't know how to put they don't know how to put it into an artistic kind of way, and that can become a delusion, where people just have this. They just kind of have this. They create a narrative that they're just not going to let go of, because that narrative is easier than what they've had to process. And it's just people just trying to figure things out. Now, there's another reason that someone might have a delusion too, if there is a physical problem. And I also mean biochemical, through like the endocrine to the brain communication kind of stuff, sensory. But there's medications that can help with that. But then some people have like traumas and stressors and depressions and everything like that. They can also, uh, you know, either trigger a chemical reaction to the brain that creates an imbalance, or uh, behavioral, which may be brain chemistry driven or not. But either way, people just try to do the best they can. So I've learned to be a little less, especially working with, I work in the recovery community. And I'm participating in it. I don't mean like work as in I'm not. It's not where I make my living or anything like that. Although at one point I did, but it's like. But most of my associations are there, and I have learned to forgive the indiscretions and the things that people have to do to cope, to wrap their mind around. Because there's this whole joke. How do you know when an addict is lying? Well, he's talking. All right, but whatever. And it's like, that's not really the issue. But I do find that when there is an artistic outlet, you know, people can really process what they have to process a little better. And in some ways, indirectly. It's one thing to keep a journal and go tell your life story and everything like that. And that's wonderful. But also just as a creative process, processing emotion happens a lot in the works of fiction. And so when you're seeing something, a work of fiction on the screen or the TV, or you're reading a work of fiction, or you're hearing a song, and you're moved by those, by the deep emotional poignancy of it, that is because it is the result of an artist, or sometimes plural, multiple artists, working through the emotions of life and the traumas of life and the triumphs of life and the good and the bad and everything in between. So I'm grateful for literature, paperback, everything, all of it. I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for art. I'm grateful for art. I'm CJ Miller, and coming up on my apartments now, and yeah, I am gonna close the video out, and we're good. Love and light, peace, good night.